Okay, today we're going to look at how to set up a scenario of the upfront card game. What you first do is you choose one of the scenario. Today we're going to choose scenario A, meeting of patrols. It lists 3 nations, American, German and Russian. So you choose one who to be the German, and the other player choose either to be one of the other two. You pick out the cards that is listed here, 1 to 12 for Americans and 1 to 10 personality cards for Germans. This is how you tell number 5, number 4, number 10, number 1, etc. It says German is the first turn. The deck is 3 times the time limit. We have this token to represent this. It means if this deck runs out 3 times, so after 1 time, you can flip this and then shuffle it back, and when the third one is out, the game is over and you can calculate score. You read the special rules to decide so you know what if there is some other setup or anything else that is going on with this scenario. In this scenario, it says remove the first 5 buildings. 5 building cards should be discarded, unused, or as a random position check or random number check. So that basically, if you have a building in your hand, you can throw it away, and it will be placed face up here. Or if you flip a card and check for a random RPC check or RNC check, after the check is done, you place the card to the side. After the 5 card here, you can start playing buildings from your hand on your groups, which represent a more wooden dense area, so it will take time to find the first building. It says the victory condition. You just read it and apply it on the game. It will also be that the I believe it's because first turn will go to the Germans, and they will also set up first. I do not think it's might be that the Axis side always set up first, but I believe this has to do with setup and taking the first turn. So how do you set up? If we look at the German side, they have 10 personality cards, 1 to 10 we took out. And the rule says the first group you set up must be group A, and the second group B, and so on and so on. The rule says you can only have a minimum of 2 personality cards in one group at setup, but that can be decreased during gameplay, and the maximum of 10. So you can never have more than 10 or less than 2 in setup. So the German has chosen this combination. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 card in the group, and exactly the same measure here. You then also have the group to represent group A, and they start at range 0. Group B started at range 0. The American have a little different combination. They have 12 cards, so they choose to have a minimum squad here, a little larger one here, and middle in the between ground over here. And as you see, the American have their A group just opposite the German A group, and B opposite B, and C don't have any opposites. That is how you perform the basic setup on the personality cards. Now it's the German's turn to place initial terrain. He look at his hand. So he will play 1 card on either the opponent's group or one of his own. So if he would have a bad terrain here, he could play it on the opponent. But for example, he might choose this brush. You place it here, and then it's the American turn to try to put something. He can choose this hill on this group, for example, and then we go back to the German. German have a artificial terrain card, smoke. You cannot play artificial terrain cards in this in the beginning setup, so he will say he will pass. He doesn't say that he cannot or anything like that. He just announced that he won't play anymore. American also have a wire here, which is also an artificial terrain, and he will choose. Oh, he cannot play that, but he say he will choose to play this one over here, the wood, and then he. The German have already said no, so he will not continue. It's back to the American again, and they cannot play anymore or say that they choose not to play anymore. So that is basically how you set up a scenario for upfront. So now it's the German take the first turn. First, of course, he pulled back up his hand size. We had too few cards. He should have had one extra card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So apologize, but you know drill. You probably know the concept here. 6 cards for the American. Oh yeah, and how do you know that? The rules state what different nation have for hand size and discard capability. We will come to that. But basically, Germans have 5 cards. Americans have 6. Russia have 4 cards, and then we have a bunch of other nations in the box from the expansions, and there are very good player aid cards to print out if you want to have it easy. So that is how you set up meeting of patrols, the first scenario in the upfront, which is a very good scenario. You can play it unlimited amount of times, just to get to know how to run this system, and after that you might want to go to the next scenario, which is basically the same. It's you throw away the woods instead of the buildings, and you get 1 extra counter. So you get to start to do a little more of adding rules as you go along. Also, we can take here, we forgot, the German had put this crew serve weapon, which basically means this guy is... I think you have to do it like this. I'm not really sure, but I tend to place it like this. This person is now helping this guy with the weapon, so he can use the large numbers. If this would not be here, he can only use brackets because he have to do all the stuff with his machine gun by himself. But he now with this person here get help, so he forfeit all his firepower as long as he is the crew to this machine gun, and this firepower he can use this non-bracket firepower now. That has to be decided during the setup. You can of course cost 1 action to crew on crew, so it doesn't say he has to beat it if they come up closer and start to want to use this firepower instead. So that is basic setup. We will keep on posting more videos about other concepts of the game, so stay tuned.